Okay, I'm going to give you a quick video today on for loops in Java. So they're very similar to repeat loops in Scratch. So let's remember what those look like. Go over here. We have the repeat 10 times loop. So if we remember, what this is going to do is that, let's say, repeat 10 times, say hi. What this does when we have our command block is that it's going to say hi 10 times. Now it said hi 10 times, but it all happened so fast that we couldn't see it in the code, but that's what it's doing. We click the start block and it repeats hi 10 times. Cool, that's all pretty simple. Now let's think about actual Java now. So here I have a blank Java code up right here. All this is, if we remember from our intro to Java video, it's just the class, the public test project, and then we're in the main method here. So we want to code in the main method because that's what's going to execute first. So trust me on this. I'm going to write out a for loop. Just watch. I'll explain it all in a second. Okay, so you might not know what this means yet, but this code right here is doing the exact same thing as this Scratch code right here. It prints out the word hi 10 times. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to run the code. There we go. There's our console. It prints out hi 10 times. Cool. So that looks all good. But let's break apart what is Java actually doing, because this looks pretty complicated. I will assure you it is not. But let's take a look. For loops in Java. So this is the exact same code as I just typed out for you. I just wrote it here on a slideshow. So let's take it step by step. The for and then the two parentheses. What this basically does is that it tells Java, well, it tells Java that we're entering a for loop. So that's just convention. Anything in the parentheses has to follow a specific form. And the form goes like this. The first thing inside it is going to be, you're going to initialize a variable, an integer in this case, to be equal to some index. And right now we're calling it 0. So we create this integer and we set it to a value of 0. Just like we learned in Scratch, how we can create variables and set them to certain values. We're just creating an integer and setting it to 0. And then we put a semicolon, just conventionally. You just have to remember to do that. It's not logic. You just got to do it. Next, we say, repeat this. We don't know what this is yet, but we're going to do whatever we're going to do as long as our variable I is less than 10. So we start off I at 0, and we're saying that we're going to continue as long as I is less than 10. And every time, I++. I++ just means I take I and add 1 to I. So to think about this simply, we take I, we set it to a value of 0, and we say that every time that we go through the loop, we're going to add 1 to I. You could also say I equals I plus 2 here, or I equals I plus 3, but right now we're saying I++, which is the same as I equals I plus 1. So we start at 0, we add 1 over and over again until, well, as long as we are less than 10. And every time that we add I, we enter the loop. So every time that we do this, it's going to system out println hi, which means it's going to print hi and then enter a line beneath it, which is exactly what we saw in our code. Remember, it printed hi, and then it entered a line, hi, entered a line, hi, entered a line. So it's doing exactly what we want. Let's think though. Let's set this 10. Instead of a 10, let's set it to a 5. Let's see what that does to the code. Well, now it's only printing hi 5 times. If we set it to a 3, it would only print it 3 times. This number here is doing the exact same thing as in Scratch. This number here, repeat 10, is the same as this I is less than 10. Those are functionally the same. And so now this is just a more complicated way of saying this, remember. But the power of this, in something that you can't do so easily in Scratch, is that say we want to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In Scratch, you could do this. You could do it manually and just type out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or you could do it a more complicated way, But in Java, all you need to do to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is just say system.out.println I. Because remember, we have this index I, and we're taking it from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. As we progress through this for loop, we're adding 1 to it. And so if we just print I instead of hi, sorry, that might be a bit confusing, but if we print I every time, we're going to be printing the value of I. And so what it's going to look like is we should get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's run it and see if that works. There we go, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Quick note about that, actually. I spoke wrong. Remember, we set the condition to be I is less than 10, so it only continues as long as I is less than 10. So 9 is the last value in which I is less than 10. If we add 1 to 9, it's not less than 10, so we can't enter the loop. I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching.